Good morning. We're starting with this morning's Mussar. This morning's Mussar is a little out of the ordinary. Normally we have the Rambam as part of the Halacha. Today, the Rambam is actually the Mussar, and the Halacha is still Shulchan Aruch, just for a little longer. The Rambam is being quoted from Hilchot Tzarat, or Tumat Tzarat, which speaks about the laws of leprosy. And it's obvious why it's in the Mussar, because it's giving us you'll see he gives a very, very strong point against Lashon Hara and how important it is. And we'll make as an introduction, so we won't have to be interrupted later, that even though there are those who claim that the Rambam was not mystical or Kabbalistic, the Rambam makes a mention over here and says that tzarat is something which is spiritual, supernatural, and supersedes the nature of the world. So take that either with a grain of salt or all the way completely. No questions asked. Moving on. Hatzarat hu shem ha'amur b'shutfut kolel inyanim harbe she'en domin ze laze. So tzarat, the word tzarat is an all-encompassing word for the terminology of many different things that fall into that word. Share, because now he's going to give a couple of the examples. Share lo ben or ha'adam karui tzarat. Unfilat ktsat se'ar harosh o zakan karui tzarat. So when a person's skin color starts turning white, obviously the way it's classified for it to be considered as leprosy, not just a person's pale, but there's blotches, there's a little bit of 3D, then there's a little bit, then that's one idea. Then there's the idea of having one's hair or beard turn white in a way that's unnatural and which is obvious that it's leprosy. Or shinui ein habigadim o abatim karoi tzarat, the changing of the color of clothes, spots of white on clothes or on houses, also would be considered tzarat. V'zeh hashinoi ha'amur b'begdim batim shkrato Torah tzarat b'shutfut Hashem eno miminhago shel olam. So this is the line that the Rambam is telling us, that all of this changing of the colors, and even if you want to go and say that the changing of one's skin and hair to white blotches may not be attributed to the fact that a person spoke Lashon Hara, but how do you explain that their clothes or their houses start getting these blotches of tzarat? And therefore he says it's as follows: Ela ot vafele haya b'Yisrael kedei le'azhiran milashon hara. It was a ot and fele. Ot is a sign, fele is a wonder. In other words, it's a miracle. It was something which is, as he said in the line before, eno miminhago shel olam. It was not something natural. Nowadays we don't have it. Nowadays there's no such thing, even though medically there could be terms that call different skin pigmentations and diseases as leprosy. However, nowadays there's no spiritual leprosy. It was only back in the time when obviously Bnei Israel were closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem performed that miracle. That's it. So the yareket, greenish, white, reddish, there's all the different colors, but that's all tzarat. So now you want to say it's mold, but how come does it, as he explains later, how come does it go away when a person did teshuvah for real and not for real?
This is exclusive to the Jews?
This was exclusive to Jews. Yeah, Lashon Hara is only a commandment for Yehudim, on Yehudim.
I'm saying this disease, this tzarat, would never ever show up in a Gentile anytime in life.
As I'm aware of, no. As I'm aware of, it would only be to Yehudim.
And also only when you speak Lashon Hara on Yehudi.
Yes, as the Chafetz Chaim explains, yes. Shamisaper belashon hara mishtanot kirot beto. When a person would speak, back in the day, not nowadays, speak Lashon Hara, their walls would change. There would be the white blotches, the green blotches, the red blotches. Im hazarbo yitharabait. If he did teshuvah, the walls would go back to their normal state. Im amad birisho. Now that's how it would start. The Rambam's explaining us, because the psukim are long and maybe even sometimes complicated. So the Rambam's explaining us step by step. The first place tzarat would come, leprosy would come, would be first on a person's house. He did teshuvah, it went away. He got the warning. If not, then they had to break down the house. משתנין כלי האור שבביתו שהוא יושב ושוכב עליהן his furniture, so to say, would start turning leprosy, would have leprosy on it. So it would...
But until when it was in the history? Until they got out of Mitzrayim?
No.
I mean, they got out of the Midbar and then it's quit?
No, it didn't. I don't think in the Midbar we're soon going to see there was very few, if any, meaning for sure only Miriam.
But after it's happened?
After it for sure was happening during the time of the Beit HaMikdash, because that's when the Kohanim were in their stand, in their post, and then they would be the ones who would go out and examine. L'havdil, nowadays we have different chachamim which come to examine different things. There are chachamim who come and who will examine mikvaot. Let's say today we have Rabbi Galamidi with an expert rabbi on mikvaot. He's coming. We're meeting this afternoon to check our mikveh. We have other rabbis who are expert at mar'ed damim, for nida, for spots, for stains, for bdika cloths. So there would be so Kohanim, they'd be trained, and they would come to look at either a person's house or a person's furniture and deem it whether it is really tzarat, or was it mold, was it water damage, was it a fluke, is this a first time appearance, a reoccurrence? So they used to come out and they used to know how to examine and determine it. They were kind of like public adjusters, just I guess spiritual adjusters, but that's the idea. No. Today there's no such thing as tarat. Today there's.
But for everything that.
Exactly. Okay, so that was the first. First, they would start on a person's house. He did teshuvah, good. If not, they would stay on the house, and it would, after they break the house, then it would also come out on their furniture. So it's starting from outside in. House, furniture. Im hazar bo yitaru. If he did teshuvah, good. Vim amad b'risho ad shisrefu, until they've burnt already the man's furniture. No, right, and then it would go on, mishtanin abegadin shalav. Then it would be a person's clothes that would start having leprosy. Im hazar bo yitaru, v'im amad b'risho ad shisrefu mishtane oro v'tztarea. So after a person's clothes, it would go to their body. So it makes sense. It's warning. You didn't get warning number 1, warning number 2, warning number 3, number 4. That's it. You already have it on your skin, which is something that you cannot walk away from or take off.
Do we know if Miriam got the warnings?
She did not. She did not, as it's going to be clear from the Rambam. And we could explain that the reason why was because she was tzadeket. She was, anyways, as we're going to see now, she was judged much more stringently and harsher because of her position and her importance and her tzidkut. However, we're going to see she really didn't do anything that bad. Right now, next paragraph. So then, once a person already has sarat, he's separated from everybody. It's known to everybody. It's a big embarrassment. Until the person finally does teshuvah and quits this improper speech. The Torah also warns us, Ve'omer, Hishamer benega hatzarat. Guard yourself from doing what it takes to have leprosy. Chas v'shalom. Zachor et asher asa Hashem Elokecha leMiriam baderech. Remember what Hashem did to Miriam in the Midbar. What happened? Harehu omer hitbonenu ma'ira leMiriam haneviya shedibra be'achia she'ayta gedola mimeno b'shanim. How many years older was Miriam than Moshe? A total of? There's only one number. Yaakov. 6, exactly 6. Miriam was 86, Aaron was 83, and Moshe was 80. And then, right when they left Egypt, and then they were 40 years in the Midbar, that's how you know Moshe passed away at 120. Good? So, she was older than him, and she raised him on her own thighs. V'gidla al birkea. V'sikna be'atzma le'atzino min hamayim. She endangered herself. She put her life on the line to save her from the Nile River. At 6 years, exactly. She was 6 years old when she did it. Vehi lo dibra bignuto. She didn't speak about anything bad about him. Ela ta'ata sheishvato lishar nevi'im. She compared him to other prophets, who other prophets should not have engaged in marriage. In marriage, let's just put it that way. the way Moshe was. Vehu lo ikpid, and so first of all, she didn't say anything. So she was older. She raised him. She sacrificed her life for him. She didn't even speak anything bad about him. And then, hu lo ikpid al kol advarim haelu. He was mohel. He didn't even hold a grudge. He didn't even feel hurt from it. As it says right after she said what she said, Shenemar, Vaish Moshe anav me'od. Moshe was still completely humble, and he was not even fazed by it. Ve'af al piken miyad ne'ensha b'tzarat. Right away, she got tzarat. It says, as the Torah depicts the episode, a cloud came down, Moshe and Aaron were there, and she got tzarat, and she realized she did what she was wrong, and then she did teshuvah, and everyone had to wait for her. It was a sign. She was used as an example for the rest of Klal Yisrael.
Only for the one that talked, not the one that listened.
So that case,
one was listening.
Yeah. You're right. Yes. Ma? But she spoke to Aaron. She didn't speak to him. She spoke to Aaron about Moshe. She didn't speak. But you're saying a good point. Yeah. Lefika.
Why Moshe didn't get it? Why Aaron didn't get it?
It could be that tzarat.
Both are,
right. But it could be that the tzarat only happens to the speaker and not the listener. Because after all, as bad as it is to listen to Lashon Hara, it's much worse to speak Lashon Hara.
And we can all. You know, if it's the beginning of the Lashon Hara, maybe when a person hears Lashon Hara.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, but you have to stop it immediately. Or
maybe stay away. I don't know. Maybe.
Or use the soft part of the ear Hashem gave us. Okay, trivia question that Gilad already answered. I don't know if anyone heard. The first appearance of tzarat in the Torah was not by Miriam. Rather, it was by Moshe, by the signs that HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he warned him. He said, "Hey, don't speak bad about these people. A, they're my children. B, you're going to be their leader. You have to have no resentment. You have to have only good for them." And that was the first time. So Kal v'chomer livnei adam hareshaim hatipshim. So we're talking about Miriam Haneviyah. All of these 5 things we mentioned, how she really didn't even deserve or do anything that bad to get tzarat. And now the Rambam goes and says, all the more so to the wicked imbeciles. Shemarbim ledaber gedolim v'niflaot. People that are speaking great big things about other people, derogatory statements, horrible things. Lefikach ra'oi lemi sherotzeh lechaven אורחותיו להתרחק משבטן ומלדבר עמהן כדי שלא ייתפס אדם ברשת רשעים וסכלותם. A person has to distance themselves away from their evil net, which draws a person in to not only listen Lashon Hara and then continue to speak. And that's the next paragraph that Rambam speaks about, is how severe speaking Lashon Hara is, what it could bring a person to do. So let's see. וזה דרך ישיבת הלצים הרשעים. Now he's going to give us an example of what happens, like we've never been part of it, right? But the Rambam is depicting to us, if you would sit amongst these wicked people and these mockers and jokers that speak Lashon Hara, this is what happens. First they speak about frivolity, something that has no benefit for anybody. The voice of a fool speaks about a lot of things, but a lot of nothing. And then, so they speak about frivolity and nothingness, and then they're going to start speaking about the derogatory or negative things about righteous people. These lips who speak falsehood are going to start speaking as well about a tzaddik. So they're going to now have no problem speaking about tzaddikim. They're also going to speak about nevi'im, velatet dofi b'divrehem, and to make very light and disgrace the rebuke that a navi is supposed to. Again, that's the whole point of a navi. Navi is the connection between Hashem and the Jewish people, and his position is only to give over the message of God to the Jewish people at that time. So now they're not even going to take the message of the Nevi'im. Kayan shenemar, v'ayu mal'ivim b'mal'achei Elohim, uvozim devarav, umita'te'im binviyav. Umitoch kach ba'im ledaber b'Elohim, v'kofrim ba'ikar. So that's the next level. The next level is they're going to come and speak against HaKadosh Baruch Hu and deny his very existence and his omniscient power. כעניין שנאמר, ויחפאו בני ישראל דברים אשר לא כן על השם אלוקיהם. והרי הוא אומר, שתו בשמיים פיהם ולשונם תהלך בארץ. מי גרם להם להשית בשמיים? הוא allowed them, shatu bashamayim piyam, meaning they threw their mouths up, they threw their lips up, meaning they're speaking big things, horrible things that have real ramifications and results and consequences. Who allowed them to do it? Look what he says. Mi garam lahem lashit bashamayim piyam leshonam shalechu tchila ba'aretz. They first started speaking stuff of nothing. זוהי שיחת הרשעים שגורמת להם ישיבת קרנות וישיבת בתי כנסיות שונה מארץ. So first they start speaking in the land, then they start speaking at work, then they start speaking at the synagogue, and then וישיבת בתי משתאות עם שותי שיכר, and then they're gonna go and they're going to speak in pubs and bars. אבל שיחת כשרי ישראל אינה אלא בדברי תורה וחוכמה. Kosher, righteous Jewish people who understand the importance and the severity of speaking Lashon Hara, they speak only about Torah and wisdom. Torah and wisdom, Torah and wisdom, Torah and wisdom. Wisdom, anything wise. When a person speaks about whether it's business or different things, that has a purpose to it. But someone who's just talking, and there's no point to it, that is the issue, and that's what leads a person to other things. ולפיכך הקדוש ברוך הוא עוזר על ידן ומזכה אותן בה, שנאמר אז נדברו יראי השם איש אל רעהו, ויקשב השם וישמע, ויכתב ספר זיכרון לפניו ליראי השם ולחושבי שמו. And this is as the pasuk says in Malachi, that those who fear HaKadosh Baruch Hu will always speak about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Torah, Chokhmah, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write everything, Malachim will write everything down, and it will all go in a person's merit. So all the Divrei Torah we learn, all of the questions that a person asks, all of that is to our soul benefit. This is a beautiful piece from the Rambam, and now we definitely understand how come the Hida decided to put it in our Mussar of the day, because it's definitely Mussar more than Halacha in this even though it's in the Mishnah Torah. Okay, moving on to the Halacha for the day from the Shulchan Aruch. We've said many times the Arizal put together the Chumash, Nevi'im, Ketuvim, meaning not put together. He decided al pi Kabbalah and al pi the Parashat HaShavua which parts to read. Chumash, Nevi'im, Ketuvim, Mishnah, Gemara, Zohar, and then the Hida, because the Arizal was the same time as the Shulchan Aruch. So it was it's again, didn't really make sense that he was the one who chose it or not. But anyways, this is the way it is. So the Arizal chose those 7, the Hida added on the Mussar and the Halacha. We see very often the Mussar comes from post the Arizal era, exactly. So the Chida was around 300 years ago, give or take. The Arizal 500. Ma? Yeah, he brings a lot of, which is exactly. So it didn't make sense. So Chazak. So he brings a lot. He brings a lot of different parts from Mussar, and so the Hida was the one who added and decided which ones should be the Mussar as well as the Halacha. Italy. A lot, yeah. Most of the time, until he moved to Eretz Yisrael. Okay, Shulchan Aruch. No, Azulai. Hida, Chaim, Yosef, David, Azulai. Okay. The Shulchan Aruch is now in Hoshen Mishpat speaking about the laws of swearing. Now, just to give as a prelude, nowadays we don't swear for anything. We don't swear if someone says this whole concept of I'm going to go swear at the Heichal, I'm going to go swear at the Torah. We don't do these things. Back in the day, that's bad enough, but it's even worse. I can't say it doesn't hold. However, it's much worse, as we're soon going to see, that a person used to grab a Sefer Torah And nowadays people swear and take oaths very, very, very lightly. It wasn't like back in the day, standing in front of the Bet Din and exactly.
יש רבנים תימנים, אני יודע שלוקחים אנשים, אני יודע מסיפור ספציפי שלקחו אנשים להישבע על הספר תורה.
It's not common. It's not a common thing. It's not something we do.
They don't have the authority to make somebody swear today. We don't have a Supreme Court.
Can
make you swear. That's it. Only Bedin.
Only, yeah. Yeah, but nowadays, very rarely do we ever have that. So let's learn the halachot just to show us how it's more of an emotional thing. So it says as follows: Tarich lishava b'shem. When a person needs to swear, they need to swear in the name of Hashem, or bechad min hakinuim umeomad, or in one of the other names that is given to God, as we're soon going to see, like Rahamim and all of those things. And also a person has to take their oath standing up. V'im nishba miyushav, eno chozerun v'nishba. If a person did take oath sitting down, they don't need to re-say it while they are standing up. V'talmid chacham afilu lechatchila miyushav, ben shel Torah, ben shel divrehem. So a person who's a Talmid Chacham, he is allowed to sit. The distinction I'm not sure of, but a Talmid Chacham is allowed to